Welcome to the deep dive. So, if you're serious about making your mark on Instagram in 2025 and you want to go beyond just, posting pretty pictures,
Yeah.
you're definitely in the right place. We're really going to dissect how to craft Instagram captions that actually drive engagement and growth.
Mm.
And for anyone looking to maybe give their social media profiles a bit of an extra lift, you can find resources over at rapidboost.net, just mentioning that up front.
Good resource, yeah.
So our mission today really is to pull out the key strategies for creating Instagram captions that spark, well, meaningful interaction and real growth in 2025. We're aiming to cut through the noise,
Yeah, exactly. And bring you what's really important.
Yeah.
Like, think of it this way. A killer visual might stop the scroll,
Yeah.
right? But it's the caption. That's what sparks the actual conversation.
Hmm.
And in 2025, those conversations, they're basically the fuel that powers your Instagram success.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's dive into why captions are, like, so critical now.
Okay, let's unpack this. It really feels like we've shifted, haven't we? From just purely visual to, well, the words carrying serious weight now. What's driving that on Instagram?
Well, really boils down to the algorithm. I mean,
Yeah.
Instagram's been pretty clear. They prioritize content that fosters meaningful interaction.
Right, meaningful interaction.
Yeah, that means comments, shares, DMs,
Yeah.
those kinds of things, likes. They're still there, maybe a vanity metric for some, but they just don't carry the same weight for reach anymore.
Interesting.
So your caption is really your frontline tool for prompting that kind of authentic engagement.
Yeah.
A well-phrased question, a bit of wit, or even just a compelling snippet of a story, that can be the difference.
The difference between someone just scrolling past and actually joining the conversation or your community.
Precisely. Joining your community.
So it's less about just broadcasting out and more about actually building a dialogue. How do these engaging captions then help build something deeper, like brand loyalty?
Well, in today's world, right,
Yeah.
everyone's fighting for attention. So genuine connection, that's
Yeah.
gold.
Totally.
And your captions give you this dedicated space to show off your unique voice, your values, your expertise.
Yeah.
It humanizes your brand.
Right. Makes it feel real.
Exactly. It turns maybe fleeting follows into a loyal audience who actually feel connected to what you stand for and, ultimately what you offer. And what's really fascinating, data actually shows posts with engaging captions can get almost 30% more comments.
Wow, nearly a third more comments. That's pretty compelling.
It's a tangible impact, yeah.
Okay, now something I wouldn't immediately connect to captions is discoverability. How do captions help new people find your stuff?
Okay, this is where the actual text in your captions becomes super valuable.
Sure.
Instagram's algorithms, they analyze this text to figure out the context of your post.
Okay.
So by sort of thoughtfully weaving in relevant keywords without sounding like a robot, of course, keep it natural, you essentially optimize your posts for Instagram search and the Explore page.
So it's like SEO, but for Instagram captions.
Kind of, yeah. It's another pathway for people who are actively looking for content like yours to just stumble upon it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So captions are vital for the algorithm, for audience connection, and for discovery. Let's get into some concrete ideas. What types of captions are really proving effective at sparking this engagement we're talking about?
Right. Well, storytelling is always huge. It's a powerful human connector. Sharing those little behind-the-scenes glimpses, that gives a sense of authenticity.
Yeah, people like that.
Imagine, say, a baker sharing a funny little disaster from recipe testing, right? And then asking something like, ever had a baking fail like this? It just instantly invites people to relate.
That paints such a vivid picture. Yeah, I can see how that works. What other kinds of storytelling are effective right now?
Well, narrating personal experiences, maybe even moments of vulnerability or lessons learned from challenges that can forge really strong bonds. Like sharing a time you almost quit a project. And the key takeaway, maybe even hinting there's more to the story in a thread for those interested. That draws people in.
Teasing more content. Clever.
And, of course, never underestimate just showcasing success stories and real testimonials. Letting your audience speak for you builds massive trust.
Absolutely. That social proof is powerful. Okay, what about more direct ways, like encouraging interaction right there in the caption?
Asking direct questions is, well, it's a classic for a reason, isn't it?
Sure.
Think open-ended prompts, things that encourage thoughtful replies like, what's one small thing that always brightens your day?
Nice.
Or you can go for quicker stuff like polls and stories, or even just this or that questions in the caption itself, like coffee or tea, morning person or night owl. Simple things.
Easy to answer.
Exactly. And don't forget about tapping into your audience's wisdom. Ask for their advice or tips on something specific. People often like to help.
Making it easy and, yeah, rewarding to join in makes perfect sense. Okay, let's inject some personality. Humor. That can be a real engagement booster, can't it?
Oh, definitely. When it fits your brand's tone, humor can be incredibly effective. Makes your content more memorable, more shareable.
How, though? Like, what kind of humor?
Could be using trending memes, but, relevantly. Clever puns work. Lighthearted observations about everyday things, even timely pop culture references show you're current and relatable.
Yeah, I've seen brands nail that.
And don't forget, just a witty tagline or some clever wordplay that kind of sticks in people's minds.
Right. Okay, I'm thinking about some brands that do that really well. What about getting your audience involved? Encouraging them to become creators themselves.
User-generated content,
Yeah.
UGC. Fantastic strategy. Builds community and extends your reach organically.
How does that work in practice?
Well, you can run contests or challenges. Encourage followers to create content related to your brand, tag you, maybe get featured. Or simply ask for reposts of content they create that aligns with your brand anyway, that makes your audience feel valued, more invested.
It turns them into active participants. That's brilliant. And finally, the call to action. How do we guide people to take that next step?
Right. Strategic CTAs are crucial. You need to be clear, compelling. Instead of just a generic comment below, maybe try something more specific, like share this with a friend who needs to see it.
Be direct.
Be direct, yeah. Encourage saves for later. Ask them to tag someone who'd find it relevant. Or ask a really specific question that prompts a certain kind of answer. You can also tease upcoming content to give them a reason to come back.
Good point. Keep them hooked. Okay, we've covered a fantastic range of caption ideas here. Looking ahead to 2025, what are some key trends shaping how we should be thinking about captions?
Well, one trend that's definitely noticeable is the rise of microblogging within captions.
Microblog.
Yeah, people seem more willing now to engage with longer, more in-depth captions. Captions that tell a more complete story, offer detailed insights, or share more personal reflections. Think of it like a mini blog post right there in the feed.
Huh. That's quite an evolution from just a sentence or two. I have seen some accounts doing that really well.
It's happening. And something else to be aware of is visual formatting within the caption.
How so?
It's becoming more important for readability, especially on mobile. Using emojis for visual cues, using bullet points, line breaks, breaking up those big blocks of text makes captions more scannable, more inviting.
Makes sense. Easier on the eyes. What about hashtags?
Hashtags, yeah. The trend is definitely shifting towards quality over quantity. Focus on maybe 3 to 5 highly relevant specific hashtags, and maybe develop your own branded hashtag. That can help cultivate community around your content.
So fewer but better hashtags.
Got it. And what about all the AI stuff we're seeing everywhere? How does that fit in? It's interesting. AI tools are getting pretty sophisticated, yeah. They can help draft captions, analyze performance. But honestly, the core of truly engaging captions in 2025, it still comes down to personalization and authenticity.
A human touch.
Exactly. People connect with genuine human voices.
Yeah.
Injecting your unique perspective, real stories, specific details, that's what's ultimately going to resonate the most deeply.
That makes perfect sense. Authenticity still cuts through all the noise. Okay, so for our listeners who are ready to level up their caption game right now, what are some concrete, actionable steps they can take?
Okay, first crucial step. Audit your existing captions. Seriously, go back, look at your posts from the last month or so.
What are you looking for?
See which captions got the highest engagement. Look for patterns. What topics worked? What tone? What length? What kinds of questions did you ask? This gives you super valuable insights into what your audience already likes.
Okay, start with what's working. Smart. What's next?
Next, dedicate some time to actually planning and batching your captions. Set aside time each week, maybe. Brainstorm ideas across those categories. We talked about stories, questions, humor, CTAs.
Get ahead of it.
Yeah, draft them in advance. It takes the pressure off trying to think of something brilliant on the spot every single time you post. Then, you need to embrace experimentation.
Try new things.
Exactly. Try different caption lengths, different question styles, different tones. See what works best. And critically, use your Instagram insights. Track the performance where it chooses. Pay close attention to comments, shares, and saves.
So it's really an ongoing cycle, isn't it? Learn, refine, repeat.
Precisely. And don't underestimate the power of engaging back.
Oh yeah, the conversation part.
Make it a priority. Respond to comments. Start DMs when it makes sense. Give shout-outs to followers who are really engaged. The more you interact, the more you build that vibrant community.
That makes sense.
And maybe explore collaborations. with other creators or even your own followers. Joint challenges, Q&As. Use compelling captions to kick those off. And of course, remember, for extra support-boosting visibility, resources like rapidboost.net are out there.
This has been a really, really insightful deep dive into, well, the art and science of Instagram captions. So to sort of summarize it all, what's the key message for success in 2025?
I think the fundamental takeaway is this. Thoughtful, creative Instagram captions. They're not optional anymore. They are absolutely essential for driving meaningful engagement and, achieving sustainable growth on Instagram in 2025. They're a cornerstone.
It's really about moving beyond just, like, describing the photo, isn't it?
Exactly. Crafting effective captions takes deliberate planning, consistent experimentation, and just a genuine commitment to fostering real connections with your audience.
Right.
Okay, here's a final thought for you listening. Consider the immense potential. The power of just a single, well-crafted caption. It could do so much more than just get a fleeting, imagine it as the spark, the spark that ignites a conversation. And that conversation could be the thing that forges a lasting bond with your audience. So the question is, what kind of conversations do you want to ignite? Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.